Hey everybody, welcome to A Million Little Podcast, Season 2, Episode, 12? Pretty sure it's 12. It's
Whatever.
It's guilty.
It's guilty.
The episode's guilty. You're guilty. Yeah, we're all guilty. I'm Kevin.
I'm Jamie. I don't even know who's guilty in this episode.
Well, I do, because there's several people who are going, oh, somebody knows something. I don't know shit, crybaby. Dave, we should say Dave, I know. I just texted Jamie that I think I'm everyone's third favorite member of this podcast, which I get, and I think that's the right choice for this.
No.
I think so, but one of your top two picks, unfortunately, is
guilty of not being here.
He died in a motorcycle accident, and it's really on brand for this particular episode.
What are you going to do?
Yeah, he'll be back next week. Maybe. I can't promise that.
We hope.
Yeah. But the guilty people, because there's the courtroom stuff that they're watching. Also, the guy, Eric, is, he's being sued, or he was sued.
I guess, but that wasn't even a big part of it.
He has guilt.
He has guilt. Yeah. He's guilty of being a liar, but we already knew that.
Everyone's guilty of something every moment of every day. Maybe that's what's so relatable about this episode. There we go. We've come around to it.
We solved it. Bye, everybody.
Yeah, well, this was a shorty, but a goodie. I'm glad you guys waited 5 extra days for this. Some people have been harassing us on Twitter, which I think is actually nice. I think that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Please,
thanks, guys.
Yeah, please do. And we are at A Million Podcast on Twitter and at A Million Little Podcast on Instagram. But yeah, so these things take time.
We're guilty of having lives.
No, God, is that even true?
Not really.
Right.
We just were other places, that's all.
Yeah, I had several flights canceled. A big shout out to United for not making one of any of the connections I was supposed to make this week, so that's cool.
This episode is guilty of most of the people not being in it from the cast.
First of all, it's cleared up. We won't harp on it, but obviously Danny wasn't in the episode.
Danny, according to his mother, is at a sleepover all weekend, is what she says when she's like, I can go on a road trip because my baby is with its father. And then, Sophie hates me. And then she's like, and Danny's at a sleepover all weekend. I'm like, Delilah, Danny, first of all, has gone to Mexico. There's no way that he's just at a sleepover all weekend. That's not what sleepovers do. Unless
it's with Elliot. And they're like,
then that best be addressed in the next episode. Friggin' Danny's pregnant.
God, a very special episode of A Million Little Things. Danny is preggo. I want to say the list as a producer, this is jumping around a little bit, but producer, the name stuck out to me, and I thought it was for this reason. Tucker Cawley was listed as one of the producers on this, and he was one of the main writer-producers for Everybody Loves Raymond.
Oh, shit.
And then he also wrote for Men of a Certain Age, so he's really riding that Ray Romano train.
Hell yeah.
Did you see people,
it's a good train.
Did you see people thirsting over Ray Romano online this week? Everyone was like, they would smash Ray Romano.
I only saw one tweet that someone said they were working on something and Ray Romano showed up in a leather jacket and all the ladies on staff were like, oh, shit, well, I guess I would fuck Ray Romano.
Yeah, where were you when you figured out that you would fuck Ray Romano? Yeah, so anyway, and he worked for Parks and Rec and Up All Night in the short-lived Kelsey Grammer sitcom Hank. Anyway, I had not noticed that he was on the staff here before, but it's interesting. It's another thing where this show is not primarily comedic.
No.
But a decent number of the people with it are comedic people, so...
Yeah.
Interesting. So, anyway, Danny he's getting pregnant all weekend on a sleepover.
Apparently so.
Mm-hmm. And, so he's not... Do you have a list of other people not in the episode?
Sophie's not in the episode.
She's definitely getting pregnant.
I think in the next episode, according to the preview, in a closet in a kitchen.
Yeah.
Catherine, I don't think was in this episode.
You rarely...
Theo,
you rarely miss a Catherine in an episode.
I know. Catherine's assistant.
Sure.
Tommy Bananas? That's not what it is.
No, but
Sam Pancake.
Sam Pancake. Tommy Bananas is his partner in crime. They had a duo. They were cruise ships for a while. Yeah, they did a danger juggling act.
I would pay to see that.
Absolutely, Sam Pancake is good. I was always team Sam Pancake as a man, but I wasn't into his character early, and now I'm fine with it.
Yeah, now we're fine with it. But he wasn't there. That was the only. I feel like I'm missing one, but those were, I think, the big ones.
Tommy Banana. Did you say Tommy Banana?
Yeah.
Okay, yes. Great shirts.
Thanks.
Great Kaz shirts.
Yeah, and Danny, as I mentioned.
Yeah, so that's everyone who's missing. But some people were in this episode. And actually...
We traded in a couple of guest stars.
Yes. And for me, I did like that... we got a couple of big-time guest stars, I guess. And it's easier to keep track. As someone who takes notes on these episodes, it's made it a lot easier to...
I know. My list is so much shorter. I was like, what's the deal here? It's like, I guess because half the people weren't in it this time. All right.
So where do you want to start, Jamie?
Well, I guess we could do... Well, we could start with Rome, because at the beginning, from just like the opening montage, it made it look like Rome was going to get murdered in like a race war, because they were doing all the clips of like him like getting in trouble, like, race wise. I was like, oh no. But then it wasn't. People learned race lessons, but nobody got murdered.
Okay, yeah, well, that's better, for sure.
Yeah, I think they just were doing the montage to remind you that Rome is in fact black and that race exists.
What? In
case you forgot.
Well, yeah.
Just like Gina's mom.
Yeah, Rome and Gina are, talking adoption, so that's part of this. But I guess Rome's particular angle is more professional in this episode, I guess.
Yeah, it's more professional. Basically, he finds out from somebody on set of his commercial that his buddy producer Todd he was like, congrats on selling your script. He doesn't know what that means. Turns out Todd stole his script, made it into some kind of sports movie like he wanted him to, and cut out the suicide part. And it says that the friends come together over their friend having a sports injury and being paralyzed. It's like, hey bud, did you write Friday Night Lights? Is that what you did?
Because if so, good job.
Good job, except I think, canon, it already happened, so you sort of ripped off that movie in addition to Rome. And Rome's not too jazzed about it.
Now, I'm curious what you think about this, because this is a thing where you and I have both worked as TV writers. Clearly, this is bullshit that, like, the guy... Todd... By the way, what's your favorite movie or story where the hero was named Todd? Is there anything ever where Todd was like the guy who came through in the end? We have a fun, very nice friend who lives on our block named Todd, who works in television.
I know. It was He's good. Yeah, probably just some real life parties where Todd was pretty cool. That's all I can think of. The only Todd I can think of in movies right at this moment is in Christmas Vacation, where it's Julia Louis-Dreyfus and the other guy who are the asshole couple next door.
Yeah,
I think his name is Todd.
There's your Todd. So as soon as you get a Todd in the mix, he's going to be trouble.
He's trouble.
But here's the thing. As circling back to the, we've worked in this writing world. It's bullshit, but also it is different from what it basically. It's the thing. He gave Rome notes. He wanted to change it in this way.
Yeah.
If Rome wants to be a part of it and have it made with this guy, you kind of just have to stick around and fight for it. But within that,
right? He makes a point where he says in film school, Rome was always the guy with the big ideas, and he's the guy that got shitty stuff done, basically.
Right.
And it's like, you do need both those halves, both sides of the coin, because in large part, the people who are creative writers are going to sit there and write their stories, and they're not producers. And then producers produce and make things happen.
That's
and
what
get
a producer
money.
is, yeah.
Yeah. And so that part's, that is pretty.
He has a point.
He does have a point, and it is accurate. And I was like, it sucks, but it's like, I don't know. It can go both ways, because I've heard, after a movie is already made and it's, like, I don't know, like a Back to the Future. This is even a bad example because I don't have a story about it. But you'll be like, oh, originally it was going to have this ending. It's like, oh, no, that would have sucked.
Right.
And some producer was like, no, fuck that. Make it happy. Make it cool. And then they made the movie. And it's like, well, I think that actually was the right choice. And then sometimes you'll hear about a movie where it's like, oh, it was supposed to be like this. And they fucked it up. And it's like, so
Sure.
how do you know? How do you know if you're right or not? I don't.
It's hard. Also, the stealing element, it's tricky, but because he clearly took elements, but it sounds different enough to me, kind of. Like, it's not a suicide story. A suicide story is very different from a sports injury.
The main thing is it sounds like he took, like, a lot of actual lines
That's fucked up.
that are his,
Yes.
which is fucked up. If you took the concept, then it's like, what are you going to do?
Right.
That's not, you gave that guy an idea and now he does it. But the fact that he's reading like word for word things that Gary said in real life that are in the script, it's like, I don't know. I don't know what the rules are on that. It's like songs when you sample something and they're like, no, you took too much of this song. It's not yours.
It strikes me as, and this isn't even necessarily a critique of the show, but it feels like it's very clear that Todd is an asshole here and he's a thief, right?
Yes.
But there's something amateurish about Rome as an artist in this show, where I think, right?
Yeah.
Because also when later on Rome, drops in on the dinner and he's yelling about stuff, he's like, "No, it's suicide because that actually happened." That actually happened is not a defense of a script. You know what I mean? I know this maybe this sounds like it's getting in the weeds a little bit as a creative writing class.
And in general, I very much enjoyed that scene, and I'm glad they did it. But yes, it's not a defense.
You're right, because it doesn't, because something happened in life does not make it worthy to write about.
Right.
The writing has to be good
and what
and
he
compelling.
really means is this is what I care about, and this is what I'm passionate about. It's what affects me, et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
But yes, just being like, no.
My friend said this.
I really did, stub my toe the other day, and it sucked.
Yeah.
And now I wrote a movie about it. It's like, well, not everything that actually happened, even if it's dramatic, is good to write a thing about.
It doesn't make it just a movie. Yeah, it doesn't.
That's not the whole thing. There's more to it than that. So I think you're right on that.
Yeah, and Rome, obviously, Romany Malco is such a naturally, like a very natural and charismatic actor, I think. So he can pull off whatever, but just on paper, Rome is kind of a hack.
It's true. There's stuff he does where if not for the fact that he is a charismatic dude and I believe it, and be like, a little bit of a wiener move. A little bit. Like, he seems to know less about his own industry than you would think he would. I mean, that's hard for me to say because I don't know shit about it. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know shit, crybaby. But, but it's like he's a professional in like commercials. Like, he's worked with contracts. He knows like that kind of. He went to film school. I didn't go to film school. It's like I feel like he should know more about it and not be quite so naive about how shit works.
Yeah, I wrote D-Bag has a point, and it's
But it was badass when he walked into the dinner with the, I guess, Hollywood star is who that person is supposed to be.
Yeah, he's hot right now.
He's hot right now, man. And makes his friend Todd Pilsner, by the way. Todd Beer is that guy's name.
His last name is Pilsner. It's even like the weakest beer. It's like
Well, Todd IPA for some reason didn't work, but
Todd Stout.
Todd Stout.
Todd Milk Stout. Todd Milk Stout. Actually, that would be a hero.
Kind of good.
Yeah.
He gets to sort of scare and emasculate that guy. Also, like, plays up the cool black guy card, like, so hard. He literally walks in and talks to the dude. He's like, "What's up, black man?" I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Holy moly. That's not a sentence I could pull off.
No.
Not that that's the bar, but,
Sure. Can Jamie pull off this black speech? Yeah. We don't. I mean,
that's like the first thing he says, and it's like, "Oh shit, Todd, you're in big trouble."
He does say, "What up, black man," or something to that effect. Yes. Which, yeah.
It's like, Todd, you're fucked. Mm-hmm. This movie star is gonna hate you in about 30 seconds.
Is Todd Latino, do you think? It's a little olive. What
With
do we
the last name Pilsner?
My name is Todd Pilsner. I'm from Mexico City. That's a fake ID. Obviously, you're arrested. You're busted.
I changed it from Todd Cerveza.
Todd Cerveza also could be a hero.
That's actually a good name.
Yeah.
You should have kept it, Todd.
Yeah.
Be proud of your heritage. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have no idea what Todd is, but sure, I'll buy that. I'll buy Mexico City.
Sure.
But that's pretty much that.
Right.
And the movie star goes to the trouble of getting Rome's number and calls him and is like, let's make your movie instead.
Yeah.
Which is insane, but I am happy about it.
I'm fine with it. It's like...
Also, it looks like the agent didn't go.
Right. Basically, that's my take on it, is like, no, but who cares? This is fine.
Yeah, there's a lot of things in this show where it's like no and no. Mm-hmm. And this is a no, but yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
Whatever.
I'm just also like, Mr. Malco, whatever he wants to do, he's fun and,
Yeah, we're Rome marks.
You know, one thing he does as an actor really well is that he seems surprised by everything.
He does seem surprised by everything.
I mean this in a very good way.
Yeah.
Like, he is living it right now.
Yeah.
And that's hard to do as an actor.
I believe
I've
that.
been in a movie. It's hard.
It's not easy to pretend you don't know someone's going to say the thing they've already said 5 times.
They give it to you on a paper. And you're supposed to read it and think about it beforehand.
I don't know if you know this, but this whole episode is planned out ahead of time. Mm-hmm. Like, Rome already knows what's going to happen in the scene before it happens. Sorry to blow everyone's mind.
Yeah.
Sorry you got brain matter all over your train on your commute listening to this podcast. I think Gina does a really good job of that, too.
Yeah. Gina's very good. Mm-hmm. Do we want to do Gina or any other Rome stuff?
No, that's it. Right. I mean, that was his whole thing. Gina's is pretty quick. She's worried about telling her mom that they're going to adopt because she thinks she's going to be very critical about it and try and talk her into birthing a baby. And then she tells the mom, and the mom is immediately psyched and excited. She's just happy to have a grandbaby. She's like, all the fun, no stretch marks. Let's friggin' do this. And Gina's like, well, okay. And then the mom gets upset when Gina says she and Rome think they want to get a baby that looks like them, so the baby doesn't have to go through what Gina went through, having a white mom, being a lady who looks like a black lady, and then a lot of confusion ensues. And they show it in the episode a couple times where people don't assume that's her mom.
Mm-hmm. And I think that is clearly, that's clearly a real issue. That it makes sense. That's a thing that you think about every moment. It affects more moments of your day than you would think. Mm-hmm.
It's sort of the speech that Rome gave to Gary last week. Now Gina is giving to her mom, which the mom already knows, but tries to not think about because she thinks that it's, she has raised Gina thinking it's better to just ignore it and be colorblind as opposed to addressing it, which is not.
Yes, and they do say that, they highlight that there is a privilege in being able to be colorblind, and it is you don't hear a lot of black people saying I'm colorblind, or I don't see color.
Unless they are colorblind.
Yes, which is, well, what a scenario.
And then they're like, which one is the red jelly beans? Help me.
Yeah. But I will say that Gina in this episode struck me as someone who decided she wanted to be mad at her parent about something. I thought that she basically came into this being like, my mom's going to be difficult, and then she wasn't, and then so she found, this is a little bit on Gina. I think that Gina was leaning in to, she was gonna be annoyed by her mom about something, and I think that's a relatable thing, too. But the mom didn't bat 1,000,
Right. And it's like before, there was a few episodes where mom was helping out with the restaurant, and there was the whole uncle thing and all that. So she has there's been some history where she thinks her mom's being cool and then she disappoints her. So I think she definitely is still someone who just sort of and she was practicing to her friends saying it, where she's just I know that it might go bad and I want to prepare myself because I know my mom and she can be crazy about stuff. Mm-hmm. But she does seem not relieved, but more disappointed when her mom's like, this is exciting. She's like, oh, huh.
Yeah.
I had all my points lined up, and now I don't. And then she's a little excited when she's like, "Ooh, okay, good. Now I can argue with you about it and getting a black baby."
Yeah, and and again, this is a thing where it's like not a critique of writing. I think this is like a kind of nuanced thing that that a lot of people do. I certainly do. Where I think we're all prone to be extra sensitive to the weird nuances of our parents, and to like them. We get annoyed more quickly by them than other people do, I think.
I think so.
Because
it's new to other people.
Right.
It's a fun quirk for 5 minutes, and then if it's,
Right.
Especially if you know it's coming.
Yes, and also it's sometimes you have a parent who's a certain way, and then you build how they are into your own story of yourself and your own story of your life. And then it turns out they're not as bad or not as good as you make them out to be. And I think this is a case where the mom is not as much of a problem as Gina builds up in her head. And so now she sort of, it's some Olay bullshit. It's like she ran in like a bull, and then you pull the red cape away. It's like, there actually wasn't a problem there. So then she found
Bull's
another
still
thing.
angry, though.
Yeah.
So what are you going to do? And then they have a talk about it, and they're fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's pretty much it.
That's all I had on Gina.
That's it. Yeah. Nothing too crazy. Just has a nice talk about race with her mom.
Yeah, and her mom was,
Overall, fine.
Yes.
So I guess maybe Gary.
Yeah.
And then we can end on the Eric Maggie junk.
Sure.
So yeah, Gary is, I guess, holed up in his apartment, and everyone's concerned about him. He's being like weirdly mean to Eddie, who's there just for a minute. Eddie's not in this episode much. He's there for like just real quick.
They make a big deal out of Gary watching this movie again.
Quincy's Lie.
Which
is not. Are
you thinking of a movie that really exists?
No. It's just like this. It just felt like a made up name to me.
Yes.
Which later
like a 30 Rock movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like a Rural Juror.
Yes.
Sort of.
It probably is. I bet a lot of the similar cast from Rural Juror. Certainly the same casting agent.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, for sure. And by the way, Marcia Gay Harden, I don't know if they de-aged her for that scene or if she just looks great. But she did. Good for her.
Yeah.
I feel like she's looked exactly the same for like 30 years.
There's, one of the women in showbiz who just sort of
Susan
throws.
Sarandon shit. Yeah.
Susan Sarandon, Glenn Close.
Mm-hmm.
Like Susan Sarandon has been a MILF since she was 17. And then Glenn Close has been 42 since she was 20.
Yep. And then like still is basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wild shit,
man. Genetics is crazy, man.
I think I've been 2 years older than I am my whole life.
Yeah, I could see that.
Like, people just, no matter what.
Because everyone thought you could go to bars when you were like 18.
Yeah. And then now, people think I'm a daddy. Yeah.
People are always like, oh my God, where is your child?
I'm like, shit.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So Gary's hanging out. Basically, the gang is rallying to come cheer up Gary. And they go to DEF CON, which is the bad one. 1 or 5. I feel like 1 might be the bad one. Shoot.
I don't think there's a great DEF CON.
Code Red. Let's go with that.
Or DEF CON. What if DEF CON, that's where all the deaf people go to have fun. That's the convention.
Everyone's like, you know what? Gary's kind of a shithead. Let's just go to DEF CON and rock out for a while. The music is so loud.
You guys want to know what DEF CON's like? You couldn't hear it, but I was doing a bunch of signs. All right.
He was impeccably signing this DEF CON rules.
Yes.
And he was voguing.
Yeah.
So Eddie goes over to check on him, realizes he's watching this movie from the 90s, a shitty crime drama called Quincy's Lie, and everyone freaks out when they find out he's watching it. Ends up, why? His mom is in this movie.
So does everyone else know that his mom's in this movie?
Yes.
Okay.
Everyone except Maggie is confused.
Okay, because I was confused. But now that makes sense because I... at first was like, man, you motherfuckers don't even know a rock bottom. Oh, is Gary watching a bad movie? If I'm hungover, guess what? The next day's burnt. You know, I'm in bed, I'm ordering Indian food, I'm watching 6 Law and Orders.
I know,
That's
it's basically
not better.
this. And guess who's in a lot of Law and Orders? Marcia Gay Harden.
I know.
Mostly SVU, but I think
Yeah.
maybe all SVU. But still, this could happen. This could be you almost exactly.
Yeah, and so what? I've been in a rock bottom for 15 years. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, Maggie says the line, "What's going on, and what does it have to do with a 90s courtroom drama?" It's like, well, that's what we're all screaming, Maggie. And then we find out his mom, Alice, is in the movie, and he, I guess, watches this when he's depressed to see his mom and shit all over the movie that she's in and how bad it is. And then they...
Your mom in any bad movies?
Not that I know of. Yours?
Philadelphia.
That's
Just kidding. It's a
shit.
good movie, yeah. My mom's also not in it. But, yeah.
Such a liar.
I know.
Do we know anyone's mom that's in movies?
We must.
We have to.
Well, not movies, but, I've got, like, aunts that have been in stuff.
Yeah, like TV shows and stuff.
Yeah, my Aunt Kathy was in a Blue Bloods like pretty recently, and she used to be in the soap opera Loving.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
That's something. It's not a movie, but they're both bad, so that's something.
So you could do this with her if you wanted to. Yeah, so they're there. The gang's all there, and Gary is upset. And he's in a mood, and so what they decide to do... Oh, because Rome needs to go to New York to confront his friend who's selling his script. Delilah, her kids don't exist this weekend, which is great, and they decide to all road trip up to New York because
J'aime le road trip. J'adore le road trip.
J'adore...
I have been getting into that. I've been fucking around with some French Duolingo lately.
No kidding.
Yeah.
You're going to be our new Delilah because I don't know any French.
But I can't do the accent. You can. And everyone loves it. The
Zicalo.
internet. Yeah, rats so is the direct definition, but that is, that's the right thing.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she decides she says she can road trip. So the three of them, Rome, Delilah, and Gary, are going to road trip to New York, and Gary's going to confront his mother, who's there doing a play, I guess. That wasn't clear to me until we got there. I was like, why is she in a movie? What? And then it's like, I guess she's in a play. But she's signing autographs before the play when they get there. It's very confusing.
Yeah.
But we basically find out that she left Gary and his dad because she was suffocating as a mother and wanted to go act. So she left.
Yeah.
And Delilah says, you have to talk to her.
Now, this...
Finally say all the things that you want to say. Stop talking to the movie, Gary.
Stop talking to the movie, Gary. Is a good thing to yell in French, for sure.
And Gary says no French music in the car. Yeah. It satisfies me every time when they acknowledge that she's French.
I know.
I knew that shit before they did.
We called it out. You guys can go back to episode 1 and 2 when she wasn't French at all. And we were like, this bitch French.
I'm pretty sure this bitch is French.
Yeah, and then they were like, we have to say something about it.
And then they went all the way in on French, so it makes me happy every time.
It's great.
No French music, but I am driving, so I will pick the music that we listen to, Gary.
Not only does she sound French, but she is a particularly French kind of hot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. Like, I feel like hot French people are all in their late 30s forever. Speaking of ages,
Yeah. Just a hot late 30s.
Yeah.
Skinny hot late 30s with, like, an interesting, cute haircut.
Yes. Yeah. And, like, they always look like they just got done crying.
Yes. Like bags under the eyes, but make it fashion somehow.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I got you.
Congrats, Frenchie.
Good job, Delilah.
Hot baguette.
Yeah, I mean, that's what... Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's it. I guess Gary goes to meet his mom and say, hey, what the fudge?
Yeah, well, so why did he have to do that? So is he sad? To me, I didn't understand why he had to go talk to his mom now.
Well,
he's sad in general?
He's sad in general.
So
he has been particularly sad about his mom because Maggie mentioned that he did call her recently, but he hung up. Because Maggie and Gary at some point were talking about his mom, and she was like, you have a lot of unresolved issues. Maybe you should just talk to her and find out what's up. Like, if you don't know why she left, maybe ask her why she left. And he tried, but he didn't quite get there. The rest of the friends find this out. So I think Delilah or someone is just like, she's nearby. She's in New York. You could find out right now. Just go there. Just go there and say, why did you leave me as a kid?
Yeah.
So they're just, they're like, let's get this resolved. Because when he gets sad about his mom, he watches the movie. Because we find out she left when he was 7. He kept asking when she was coming back. The dad said, soon, give her time. And then at some point, he was watching this shitty movie, and then his mom popped up in it, and that's when he knew she was never coming back.
Yeah.
So he watches it to just be sad. So they're like, enough of this. No more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay.
Rip off the Band-Aid.
I have... this episode's brought to you by Z-Band-Aids. But it's a piece of cloth you put over your emotional pain. I have beef with anyone who tells someone else to go talk to their parent they have a problem with. As a rule, I hate it.
Right. I think they were trying to make the point that Delilah was being a good mom to Gary.
But she was kind of like friend momming him.
She was friend momming him and making him do the thing he didn't want to do, but clearly he has to do because he's been obsessing over it literally since he was 7, like for 30 years.
I guess we haven't seen a lot of it in the show. I don't feel.
Yeah, they've mentioned it, but yes, I agree with both. Kind of, I definitely agree with you. Where it's like you don't know. Sometimes it takes someone who's outside to tell you to do the thing you don't want to do, but also like
I just think.
A lot of the time you're wrong. A lot of the time you think you know what's up with someone's parent and you don't.
I just think, when people, you'll see this, and again, this isn't like a writing critique because this is a thing that people do in real life too, where they're like, no, but you only have one dad. You got to go make things right with him. Fuck that. He's the grown up. You know what I mean? Like things, whenever like parents are bad, to me, I'm always like, this is a person who's bad. Then I don't give a fuck.
Well, and there's a big difference about whether you want to make it right or not.
Yes, that's the whole difference to me.
Because of your friend,
do you need it or not?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And if you do, then yes, go make the move because they could not be making the move for all kinds of reasons. But if you don't feel the need, then don't. It's
real arrogance from someone else to tell you what you have to do with your own parent. I think, if you're not feeling it. And so I felt like there was a little bit of that with Gary here. I mean, obviously he was feeling it, and it was a big deal for him. And he goes, and I think the talk with her this plays out, I think, pretty close to realistic with who this person is. And I did like that she told him what the story was, and he was like, nope. Basically where it's like, no, what you just built is a cohesive, defensible story, and it's fake.
Right. Yes.
A lot of parents do that.
He gets it, but he's also like, nah, still you left. Still it's bad. I'm sorry. Oh, you thought that at 8 I had healed all the emotional wounds that you had caused a year earlier? Yeah. Okay, Mom. Mm-hmm. You're right. No, you were not cut out for momming because that is not correct.
And that's the thing. A lot of people aren't cut out for momming and dadding. Mm-hmm. Like, there's just people who aren't supposed to be parents, and this is one of those people. And very cats in the cradle at the end, where there's someone shows up and they were just about to go have a catch. They were just about to go get dinner, and then she bails because there's anything. Basically there's like a producer. A
producer was at her play that night, and they want to go get drinks with him and see if she can get the show to Broadway, because in her head she's like, oh, it could be like Hamilton. It's like, I don't know what this play is, lady, but I'm guessing it ain't Hamilton. Mm-hmm. But I thought Marcia Gay Harden did a fantastic job. You could see her wanting, I feel like you could see her 100% wanting to ditch Gary, but making the fake face of just like, but I do have this thing. Right. And it's great because Gary, gets to let her go. He's like, I see exactly who you are now. Mm-hmm. He understands, there's nothing I could have done to make you stay. It's not about me. It's all about her.
Yeah.
And it's, and it's closure. It's like, okay, she just kind of sucks. Yes. That's why she left.
Yeah, totally. That's, I think, well summed up. And a line he said when she told him the story about like, oh, I saw you, you scored a goal and you're hanging with your friends or whatever. And he said, well, you saw what you wanted to see.
Yeah.
And that is the whole thing. And people like that who are that selfish, and it's not even that much of a critique really, because like I said, some people just weren't built to be parents and then they end up being parents for any number of reasons. But she's letting herself off the hook, and that is what that kind of parent does all the time, is they build a narrative for themselves, and this is why everything happens. Not because I checked out. It's like, no, you did.
Right. Sure, it was hard on you, but it was at least equally hard on me.
Yeah, that shit. Get fucked. But there's a couple things I want to say about Quincy's lie.
Oh, sure.
Do you have anything else on the mom angle before I...
Well, the only thing I'm going to say about the mom angle is when they say the producers in the audience, and they're like, Mark Dunnigan is here. And then Gary doesn't know who that is because it's a made-up person. And then I thought the 3 names of the plays that they name that this guy supposedly has produced, which I assume are also fake, I thought were exactly perfect.
That's cool.
For it's like if you don't know anything about Broadway and someone's like, he's a huge producer, it's like, what did he do? Violet Moon, Inside the Outside, The Seventh Floor. Like, these are perfect made up play names.
Yeah, good. Yeah, that's a good shout out for whoever the writers who did that.
It runs. Yeah, I feel like it kind of runs the board of just like, yeah, that sounds like a play.
It's like if the SNL.
But I'm not interested.
It's if the SNL character Stefan was like a theater critic. Those are the things he was. This play
has everything.
This Tony's has everything. Who's nominated?
Inside the Outside.
Yeah. What does that mean?
The thing of when.
Right. That thing of when it's a word and then the opposite word, and that makes it deep. So they make a reference to someone in Quincy's lie being the guy from Home Improvement. Home Improvement. That
was adorable.
Thank you. Well, we had one of the Little Rascals pinch hit for me real quick. In Home Improvement, well, there was this wacky man who had only half a face.
Kevin's wookin' Panub.
Yeah, wookin' Panub in all the white places. And Wilson's in this motherfucking movie? Show me Wilson.
I know.
Don't blue ball me on Wilson.
I know. It's a great pull. It's a great reference. I love it. But it's also just like, well, now I want to see that guy because I only sort of kind of remember even what the top half of his face looks like.
Cast the man. If he could be dead, that's possible. Oof. But if he's not dead, this is a funny thing, and then give us the Easter egg. Cast him. He'd love it.
Oh, it would be. Yeah, you cut to the TV, and he's like doing something.
Yeah,
and maybe he's behind something
like in
the scene.
He's like checking. He's like reading the laws.
The paper. He's behind a bunch of laws.
Yeah, he's just behind so many laws. Wookin' Pawas in all the wrong places. All right. So yeah, that's it. I really want to be in a bad movie. I want to have a shitty role in a bad movie. I think that would be fun. I think that's or even like I want to be. I think this is my level of an actor of myself. I want to be in a bad movie that's fictional in a show or a different movie. You know what I'm saying? Like
yes,
that I can do that.
That would be great.
Yeah,
I would love for you to also be in a bad movie.
Thank you.
Movies are great.
I've only been in one pretty fun movie.
I know. We should get you more. Guys, hey, if anyone's out there, if anyone's out to dinner right now with an asshole named Todd, and you'd instead like to have Kevin in your movie.
Yeah, an asshole named Kevin.
Yes.
All right.
Get it. By the way, Wilson has passed.
All right. Well, then I'll give you guys a pass for not casting him.
In 2003, we missed it by a lot.
Wow.
I know.
He must have crashed and burned.
Yeah, bud.
Damn. All right. R.I.P. Half a fence. Half a face, full fence, I guess. Anyway.
If he died from that half a face disease that he had.
God dang. Yeah. The Two-Face disease from Batman.
Yeah. Yes. Why isn't there a telethon for that?
How is he not Two-Face? I guess it's the wrong half a face. Anyway, that's not why you called. All right, so we're to Eric and Maggie now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So, yeah, we start off the episode with a flashback, and it's friggin' Sutton Foster.
Whoa, I didn't realize that.
Yes.
I know that name, but I also, do not know who that is.
Speaking of...
oh, God.
Thoroughly Modern Millie. I'm going to name plays that you don't know.
No, I've heard of that. I'm sorry. This is not... There's an app called Citizen that tells you criminal happenings in your area, and Jamie...
We got a good one?
Well, Jamie can confirm. Apparently, 800 feet from where we are right now, there's a raccoon occupying a staircase, and that's great news.
Oh, that's very good.
And see, look, time for French. Duolingo. Now I'm just showing Jamie my phone.
M'appelle?
Yeah. I
I've
tested
never
the
heard.
level 11. No big deal.
Jeez Louise.
I think out of 100. So
I couldn't even test that far out of English. I don't think.
Anyway,
Shoot.
it's great. If we finish this up, maybe we can go check out the raccoon that's occupying the staircase.
I didn't know that's the stuff that you report. One time I was walking home and a possum was just walking down the sidewalk right at me, and luckily he turned into an alley before we collided or before I had to decide whether I was diving into the street or just walking by like I'm chill because they're scary mofos. I didn't know I should have reported that.
Yeah.
Citizen alert, scary possum on sidewalk.
It's the best one I've gotten in a while.
It's
anyway,
very good.
This episode's brought to you by Citizen.
A lot of them have to do with machetes, which
they're kind of in right now. And that's too bad.
It's really too bad.
Bernie won't let that happen. Guys, vote Bernie. All right.
I guess I don't really know his machete policy, but I bet it's good.
I bet it's sensible. I bet it's it seems like we have too many. I
think one machete is too many on the street.
Yeah.
Yes.
But there's a few people in this country who have all the machetes. All right.
That's right.
That has to be true, actually.
That's almost certainly true.
You know who in your life might have a machete.
I was going to say,
and it's not a lot of people.
The thing is, though, that one's not, it's the opposite, because it's not the rich people that have all the machetes.
No, it's like a weird, it's a lot of the Yang Gang, I think. All right. Anyway, we've had fun.
Y'all watching the caucuses?
We're doing great.
Yeah, we're doing good. Anywho, Sutton Foster.
Yes, she's big time.
She's big time. She's in Younger. She also has a TV show. Younger was a big deal. Maybe still is. I forget if it's still on or not.
It's older now.
Older. Jesus. Also, Bunheads. Oh.
Watch your mouth. Language alert.
TV. She's been in TV, and she's very famous from Broadway and such. To the point where, when the episode started, if it had not been from the montage that had just happened, it's at first just her, at a little antique shop, and I was like, "Is this? Did I sit on the remote? Right. I thought it was another show.
Right. Is This Is Us or something? Yeah,
yeah. I thought it was Younger or Bunheads.
Well, we all thought it was Bunheads. I'm taking your word for it that that's a thing.
It is.
So Sutton Foster's the fiance,
the dead fiance, Chloe.
Okay.
Yes.
See, yeah, but you knew the vibe. I guess they appropriately did the vibe in that antique scene because I was like, well, someone's dying very soon. Oh,
I guessed pretty quick who she was supposed to be. It's this is just a nice lady buying a sentimental trinket that's easily breakable.
Right.
She about to go down.
Here's the thing. I watch a show every week. You guys know this. Follow us at A Million Podcasts on Twitter. And I enjoy it. I look forward to seeing it. Every week I forget everything that's ever happened. Oh,
I do too. At the top of the Google Doc I have where I write down my notes, I have everyone's name written down because I forget them every single time.
Yeah.
I'll be literally writing down Rome and Gina, god dang it, I even like her. What's wrong with me?
No, but I do that with the names with a lot of shows. But
right, I'm also bad with names.
But Sutton Foster, that's cool. I didn't realize that's who that was.
Yeah, that was a big get.
That is it. That's a huge get. Yeah.
Yeah, for a quick cameo. So so she's there with Eric, and he takes the selfie that we have seen before, I think, and I don't know if it was Sutton Foster in the picture before and I just didn't notice, or if they've made a new picture because they got Sutton Foster or what. Mm-hmm. But they take off on his motorcycle and, according to Eric's voiceover, I guess crash immediately because
he didn't see the turn.
He was too happy.
Yeah, he fucking did he bone her up? Was that it? He had a boner and it like caught the wind weird and it flipped him.
That's what in the director's cut. I'm pretty sure if you follow the director on Twitter, he definitely tweeted that's what was originally.
It's one of those things. The creator of the show, DJ Nash, where he will like tweet and answer questions for people sometimes. It's one of those things when people are like, "Why did he die?" And he's like, "Actually, this is a boner, but like we couldn't, it's a network show. We couldn't."
Right. We think the boner's implied, but we couldn't.
If your boner's implied, I hate to be a Jeff Foxworthy about your boners, but you might not have a good boner. Your boner should be explicit. I'm just saying.
This episode is 90s-tastic.
Yeah,
Wilson, Jeff Foxworthy.
Foxworthy's still got it. He's still going.
He's still got it, man.
Yeah.
He's good.
Foxworthy. One of the good ones from the Blue Collar Tour. I did appreciate that it was not a weirdly dramatic reason for the crash.
Yeah, sometimes bad shit just happens.
Perfect conditions out. I thought there was going to be an animal that ran, like a deer ran out or something.
I was not thinking
that. But then he was just like, it's daytime and the weather's good, and he didn't know the street turned. And that sounds dumb as fuck, but also... that's probably why people crash on motorcycles a lot.
Probably, man.
And this is why if you look like you don't drive a motorcycle, you shouldn't. And
this is true.
And Eric doesn't look like that. That guy don't look like he drives a motorcycle.
No, his face is too smooth. You got a lot to lose there, bud.
Yeah.
You can't be doing that. You need to look more beat up to ride a motorcycle, I think.
Yeah.
Or more badass, I guess. Yeah, I don't buy him on a motorcycle.
No, less soft and happy.
Yes, exactly.
You look soft and happy.
And there's nothing wrong with being soft and happy unless you're on a motorcycle with your fiance who's holding tragically breakable tchotchkes, which are...
Like her heart.
Like her heart. Both of which we see broken on the ground later.
So, I didn't get that medically, where she's in a motorcycle accident and needs a heart transplant. Does that strike you as weird?
It did strike me as weird. I was confused. I mean, it's like that's why I was still because basically we see later then another flashback. So we find out that she didn't die actually immediately in that crash, like he's been telling people. What had happened was they were in the hospital and he ended up being okay. And I guess her heart exploded on impact.
It really seems like usually your heart's not fucked forever from a crash.
Yeah, that is one where it's like I don't know. It's not
Maybe I'm wrong.
Well, I feel like other organs when it's a crash like that, I feel like if your heart gets motorcycle crashed into you needing another one, you're just dead.
Right.
Because that's immediate. That's not like your heart is getting weak and you need a new one.
If it's fucked for 3 beats, you're fucked.
Yeah. I feel like motorcycle crash is like, oh, you need a new liver because your liver got punctured. So we can keep you alive for a while, but you will definitely need a new liver. The heart to me seems like, I mean, look, if you are a nurse or a doctor or anyone who can tell us one way or the other, freaking tweet at us or
tweet at us.
Email.
And we are at 1 million podcast, right?
Sure.
People have found us.
Yes. 1 million little podcast on
Instagram.
And 1 million podcast on Twitter.
Yeah.
Just look for it.
We'll read it and be like, cool. And then I don't know if we'll respond or not. And we certainly won't feel bad about being wrong. But
Oh, about being wrong. No, I'm not a doctor. But it seems weird. I have never heard of someone just getting smashed so hard that they need a heart transplant and not that they're just dead.
Yes, right. That they just be hanging out like, this is bad now.
The margin of error on that has to be so slim.
Right.
Like the kind of thing where you can just conk someone on the head the right way and they're dead. Like, with like a, just like dink. It's like, you hit the right spot.
Yeah.
You need a brain transplant. Sorry.
I need a brain transplant.
Yeah. But that was confusing because I was like, oh, so she needed a heart from that, I guess? Because you see a scene where Maggie's mom is in the hospital. She's learning that her kid is brain dead. And then you see Eric in the room with his fiance and she's, got the makeup where it looks like you've been sick for a couple of months. And then they find out they got a heart. And he says, oh, well, at this point, this is after Maggie has found out that he doesn't have the scar. She's in his apartment. He says he's moving away because he misses his fiance too much to live in the place where they lived. And then she spots a picture of him from 2017 with his shirt off, which is, I mean, man, she puts the pieces together in like 0.2 seconds.
It's the end of an improv scene where you have to, you have to do the edit. And it's just like everything comes together immediately where she's like, she just grabs a picture out of a box.
Yeah, she's like, what's this? Hold on. You don't. This is 2017. And then she's like out the door crying. It's like, holy moly.
Yeah.
That was quick.
Then she has kind of flashbacks to like, I tried to touch his chest and he pulled back and all these weirdnesses.
She has all the flashbacks of the times where she should have been suspicious of stuff. And when Gary was like, this guy's weird and you should be, paying attention. And then, Eric follows her to her apartment. He's talking through the door and he says, the best day of my life was the worst day of yours because your brother died. And then the heart actually went into his fiance. And that earned her, he said, another 6 years. So she got a new heart and then it only lasted 6 years. That too, I was like, I'm so confused.
I think that is how it goes.
Oh, yeah?
I think so.
Shoot.
I think that seems within easily the realm of like when you get a new, it sucks, right? Everything sucks.
Oh yeah, well,
but
I know it's not.
But you get a new organ, and it doesn't. You get like several more years out of a lot of new organs. I think.
I didn't know that.
I mean, I don't know.
I mean, I knew there's a chance that you get it, and your body's like, nope.
Right,
not ours, and then they like reject it, and you're like, it's like, oopsies.
My body's so chill; it's like cool with whatever heart. But yeah, I think that's not too crazy. That it would.
Guys, how are we not 3D printing organs yet?
Everything should just be fixed by now. Evolution-wise, the fact that anyone sneezes ever is bullshit. Like everything should just be fixed.
I know there are moments.
We've been alive a long time.
I know
as a species.
There's times where I'm just where I go to the dentist. I'm like, wow, it's amazing that this doesn't hurt. This is pretty cool. I'm so glad I'm alive in a time where I can go to the dentist and they can give me medication and it's fine. And then, I think about like Harry Potter magic and stuff where it's like so much better. It's like, I mean, honestly though, we've had anesthesia for like a really long time.
Right. Yeah. We should really be onto Harry Potter bullshit by now.
We really should.
So anyway, she gets the heart, she gets the heart of Maggie's dead bro.
And I did, when she's getting wheeled off and Eric says, see a Tin Man, I was like, well, that's actually really nice.
You like that? Yeah.
It's cute.
Yeah, it's pretty cute.
Mm-hmm. Okay. That got me for a sec.
All right, cool. I'll give you that. That's fine.
Thank you.
Yeah. And then basically Eric's justification for everything is that he got the letter from the mom.
The mom reached out because she missed her son.
And then he was like, he didn't want her to be sad about it.
Yeah, he didn't want to tell her that her son's heart was dead again.
Yeah.
And so he thought he'd write a letter that's like, I'm doing great, thank you. And that would be it, but it wasn't. And then it went too far, and there was never a good time to tell her that he'd been lying to everyone the whole time, which, there never is. Yeah. I get it, Eric. It is hard. And then he tells Maggie through the door, I love you.
I love you. I hate people who drop the I love you that fast.
Yeah, it's been, because there was a what?
I think people just don't know. Honestly, though, there are plenty of people on Earth who don't know whether they love someone. And they think they do because it feels big, and then they just haven't gotten there.
Yeah, I mean, have you watched The Bachelor?
I mean, most good days of my life in the past 15 years.
I mean, if by a certain episode you haven't said I love you, it's just
there were some early I love yous this week.
Yeah, there were.
That's for
Spoiler alert.
We watched it separately.
Yeah, we did. But yeah,
anyway.
it's they've known each other for a few months, and they've only actually been friends for like what, a couple of those maybe.
Yeah, they kissed once.
Kissed once.
Don't say I love you. Now this sounds crass.
Buckle up, kids.
But I don't. Look, if you don't want to have sex till you do things legally or for God or whatever, I guess that's cool.
If we're all on the same page.
Yes.
Sure.
That's fine. Otherwise,
Otherwise.
I don't think you should say love you before you bone. I think you should have sex first.
Because what if you have to take it back afterwards? How awkward would that be?
That's one of the reasons. I think because you should know after you have sex if like, okay, yes. But also, that's just like, that's a good sign that you've been hanging out a bit.
Right.
You know, you've been hanging out enough to be I love you stage.
Right. So not bachelor rules.
Kind of. Right.
Well, I guess, yeah.
It's got to be both.
What about I'm falling for you? That's a big bachelor line.
Yeah, that's just a catch-all.
Where they know it's too early to say I love you.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I'm more fine. I give... There's a large margin of error for
How
falling
about,
for you.
I have a feeling after we bone, I will love you.
Actually, I think that's just a good line. Like, I think that's pretty good to say.
You could clean it up a little bit, but that would, as a girl, that would probably get you laid in a bar.
If you're smiling when you say it, like it's funny, that's just good. Because it's also not taking it seriously. It's like, I think, honestly, after we have sex, I think I'll be falling in love for you. With you.
On you.
All these things. Preposition party.
Preposition party.
Right.
What are the French prepositions, Kevin? Do you know?
God, I gotta take some more Duolingo.
Okay, we're not there yet.
All right. So,
Merde.
Yeah, Zutel or Merd. Merd means shit. We are an explicit podcast. All right, so Maggie said...
and this is all right after Maggie was basically like, I think we should make this work, Eric. She basically is like, I know you have my brother's heart, and that's a great reason to bone. But also, I think we have a connection otherwise.
Good Lord, yeah.
She, starts it out like that. Like, Maggie, again, look, I don't think it's necessarily completely disqualifying, but it's not like a reason.
I don't think it's good.
It's not a reason to bone.
No, and this is a classic thing where we sort of, I think we called it a couple episodes where it's like, everyone called it a couple episodes ago that he's not.
Yeah.
Probably many episodes ago that he's not actually going to have the heart. But it also helps get you out of the weirdness of like her wanting to fuck her brother's heart.
Right. Yes. That
sounds like a real death metal lyric. Fuck your brother's heart.
That is pretty good.
Yep. And Maggie said we all have mother issues at one point.
Oh, when the gals are hanging out in the kitchen and Gina's talking about her mom. She says we all have mommy issues in common.
Yeah. Do you have mommy issues, would you say?
I don't know. I mean, not in the sense that they're talking about, I don't think. No, my mom's fine. I have issues with my mom sometimes.
Sure.
But that's normal.
Yes. Yeah, I don't think I have mother issues. I mean, you know me. We had dinner with my mom tonight.
I know. It's like, we just had dinner with her. It's great.
Yeah.
She bought us creme brulee.
Yeah.
How are you going to have an issue with that?
Yeah. I don't think I have mom issues.
No, you got a good one.
Yeah. She loves me too much.
That's true. The only issue, I guess, would be that she loves you too hard.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. She thinks you're too perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how you get this.
Yep, that's how you get this friggin' thing. All right, that's everything I have.
Yeah, I mean, the very end is that after Gary has gone on his mom pilgrimage to New York, he hears about the thing with Maggie, and Maggie basically calls Delilah saying, I'm an idiot, I've been so stupid. And then tells her about Eric, and then Gary shows up at her door and basically does not say, I told you so. He specifically comes to say, he's sorry about that. Are you okay? And to say that he could have handled himself better with their stuff. He's sorry about, not taking the psychic seriously just as a thing that was helping her get closure, even though he thought it was stupid. And, he could have handled the Eric thing better. And she's like, it's not on you. He's like, it's also not on you. So we decide it's not on anyone. And then Maggie tries to ask him out to dinner for tacos, and he says he can't do that. And he leaves.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, okay.
He's kind of getting, he's almost emotionally sobering up.
Yes, that's a very good way to put it. It does seem like he was anger drunk for the last few episodes, and now we have nice romantic Gare back.
Yeah, and just making a couple reasonable decisions and giving himself space and time. Hopefully, we have our friend Dave Miller back next week. We're hopeful that could be the case. Thank you for listening.
I hope his sleepover is over by then.
Our friend Dave, our child Dave's sleepover. Yeah, he had a whole week of a sleepover.
He and Danny
are just raging right now. But yeah, thank you for listening. Thank you for your patience. And also feel free to haze us when we take a while. Here's the problem. I don't know if you guys know this, but a good amount of you listen to this, and that's lovely. That's wonderful. We don't make money for this. And
nope.
We do have other jobs. So, and TV and comedy and stuff, and Dave's case, sports journalism. So sometimes it's hard to record. And I should say, I've tried to pursue the avenues to get screeners ahead of time so we could be able to release this. I've even tweeted at DJ Nash. DJ Nash, supposedly former stand-up comic. Guess what? I'm a real fucking stand-up comic. He should know. He should know.
Come at us, bro.
So, if
he knows the road life. You know that ain't
probably
easy.
Doesn't actually.
No, but he can imagine the road life.
Yeah, he knows people know it, and and if they ever get us screeners, we'll have all of these out on time.
Oh my gosh! And we won't do spoilers.
No,
we're cool.
Yeah. No, this is, I do a Sex and the City podcast. Sex and the City, and we don't spoil anything. So
no, and that show's been on for 20 years.
Yeah, exactly.
That's hard to do.
So, thank you for listening. Thank you for both your patience and your impatience. I enjoy all of it. And hopefully we'll be back with Dave next week.
Yeah, Million Little Bite.
Yep.